What's going on, my people? Welcome back to the channel that bleeds green like you do. The countdown is officially on. Just 7 days away from Eagles training camp, and the buzz is starting to build in South Philly. You can almost feel it in the air. The pads clashing, the playbooks opening, the smell of turf and ambition. And the big question on everyone's mind right now, will the Philadelphia Eagles regret one of their biggest offseason moves? We're diving into that real soon. But first, let's get our energy right. The Birds are about to kick off their Super Bowl defense. That's right. The champs are back, and training camp starts July 22nd at the NovaCare Complex. Mark your calendars, set your alarms, and get ready because the road to another Lombardi starts now. And one of the key names leading that charge, none other than Saquon Barkley. The newest weapon in the Eagles' arsenal is already turning heads and making noise. He's not just gearing up, he's locked in. Barkley is coming off one of the most explosive seasons we've ever seen from a running back in NFL history. Over 2,000 rushing yards. That's right, only the 9th player ever to do that in a single season. But it wasn't just about the raw numbers, it was about how he got them. Barkley led the league in total touches and still managed to have the lowest percentage of negative yardage runs. That tells you this dude was efficient, consistent, and straight up dangerous every time he touched the football. He also posted a career-high 42% success rate, which for the non-analytics folks out there means that almost half of his carries were keeping the offense on schedule, staying ahead of the chains, and moving the ball forward. And let's not ignore this stat. Over 13% of his carries went for 10 yards or more. That's game-breaking ability on display. Explosive, dynamic, and dangerous from any spot on the field. And now he's behind the best offensive line in football. Let that sink in. Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, and of course the legend Lane Johnson. You could throw Tyler Steen into that mix too, especially if he earns a starting role. These dudes don't just block, they create lanes wide enough to drive a bus through. That's huge for a running back like Barkley. And let's talk scheme. Since Nick Sirianni took over in Philly, this offense has been built to run the football. It's not just about the quarterback draws or RPOs. It's about physical dominance, grinding down opponents, and setting the tone from the first snap. That's exactly what Barkley thrives in. Last year, he averaged over 2.5 yards before contact per carry. That's not just his elusiveness. That's the offensive line doing work. That's the trenches setting the foundation. And I get it, some fans are worried about the so-called Madden curse. They see Barkley on the cover, and they start flashing back to other stars who couldn't stay healthy the year they got the honor. But let's not forget, this is a back who just put together an all-time season, and he's running behind. A unit that gave up just 3 sacks and over 2,200 offensive snaps last year. Oh, and in case you forgot, Lane Johnson didn't allow a single sack all season. Not one. Zero zilch. He's still out there in his mid-30s pushing around 700-pound sleds like they're shopping carts. That kind of consistency, durability, and dominance doesn't come around often. Lane Johnson is already in the conversation for greatest right tackle of all time. That's the caliber of protection and support Barkley's walking into. Now, let's be real. Barkley's going to turn 29 in February, and he's had some injuries in the past. But with this offensive line, with this coaching staff, and with this sports science crew that's among the best in the league, there's reason to believe he can stay fresh and effective well into the season. Just a couple of weeks ago, he linked up with names like Edgerrin James and Marshall Faulk, guys who know exactly what it takes to be elite and stay elite at the position. He's working with the Eagles coaching staff, the medical team, the strength guys, all to build a plan for longevity. Because make no mistake, the Eagles are betting big on Barkley. They handed him the richest contract in running back history. This offseason, that means the expectations are sky high. Last season, nearly 24% of Barkley's carries resulted in either a touchdown or a first down. That's not just production, that's impact. That's the type of player who keeps drives alive, who breaks opponents' spirits, who makes defenses pay. And from the clips we've seen this offseason, he looks lean, twitchy, and ready to explode. His footwork is still crisp. His burst looks real. And when a guy like that says he feels like he's just entering his prime, that should scare the rest of the NFL. Because a healthy, locked-in Barkley behind this line, that's a cheat code. But let's think bigger. How are defenses going to respond? They saw what Barkley did last season. They watched the tape. They know the damage he can do. So don't be surprised if teams come out loading the box, stacking defenders, trying to shut down the run at all costs. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. They sold out to stop Barkley, daring Jalen Hurts to beat them through the air. And Hurts, he delivered. That's why he walked away with Super Bowl MVP honors. But the chess match doesn't stop. Now, new offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo steps in. And his job is to keep this unit unpredictable and dangerous. Because the league has been studying the Eagles all off season, trying to crack the code, trying to find weaknesses. So if Philly can become more balanced, if they can take that top tier run game and pair it with a more dynamic and consistent passing attack, this offense could hit a whole new level. Last year, they were the most run-heavy team in the NFL in terms of percentage of plays. That's great when it's working, but it made them a little too one-dimensional at times. That's why Patullo's presence is crucial. He needs to bring creativity, modernity, and unpredictability to the play calling. The pieces are all there. You got A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, arguably the best wide receiver duo in the entire league. You've got Dallas Goedert at tight end, one of the most reliable and athletic pass catchers at his position. But here's the kicker. Those three were only on the field together for 79 of Jalen Hurts' dropbacks last season. Think about that. AJ and Devonta were only on the field together for just under 60% of the time. Injuries limited the chemistry. So if they can stay healthy and get that trio on the field consistently, this passing game could explode. That's why I keep saying it. If this offense stays healthy, if they get that continuity going, they have the potential to be better than they were even during last year's Super Bowl run. That's a scary thought for the rest of the league. Because if you can't key in on the run and you can't key in on the pass, what do you even try to stop? And again, when all else fails, when things break down, when injuries hit or game plans fall flat, what do the Eagles have to fall back on? That offensive line, the backbone, the identity, the core of everything they do. When you have a unit that only allowed 3 sacks all year, that gave Hurts a clean pocket more often than not, that opened up gaping holes for the ground game, you've got something special. That's the kind of group that keeps you competitive in every single game. And that's why Barkley could end up having another monster year. Not because he's trying to chase 2,000 yards again, but because he won't have to carry the entire load. He can be efficient. He can pick his spots. He can stay fresh and be dangerous when it matters most. In January and February. Now, before we wrap up this part of the conversation, let's shift gears to the move that's got the fan base divided. The offseason decision that could come back to haunt the Eagles if things don't go as planned. You guessed it, the CJ Gardner-Johnson trade. Man, this one has been simmering ever since the news broke. And look, I get it. It's not just about talent. It's about leadership. It's about swagger. It's about that energy that CJ brought every single Sunday, trading him away for Kenyon Green, a former first-round pick who has struggled mightily since entering the league, and a late-round pick? That raised some eyebrows, no doubt. Gardner-Johnson is more than just a playmaker. He's a tone setter. He's one of those guys who brings an edge, who elevates the entire defense with his confidence and instincts. He can line up in the slot, play deep safety, even blitz off the edge if you need it. That versatility is rare. And he wasn't just out there making noise. He was producing. In 28 games with the Eagles, he recorded 12 interceptions. Let that sink in. That's almost a pick every other game from a safety. That's elite ball production. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling around the Philadelphia Eagles defense following the shocking departure of Christian Parker, a player widely regarded as the very brain of the unit. Insiders suggest that losing Parker could create a vacuum in leadership and strategy that might significantly impact the team's defensive performance in the upcoming season. The Eagles' defense, known for its disciplined coordination and ability to adapt in high-pressure moments, owes much of its success to Parker's presence on the field. His sharp instincts and ability to read opposing offenses made him a critical asset, orchestrating plays and guiding teammates through complex defensive schemes. Without Parker, whispers from league insiders hint that the Eagles may struggle to maintain the same level of cohesion. Analysts speculate whether the current roster includes someone capable of stepping up to fill the intellectual and emotional void left behind. Although the Eagles have talented defenders, few possess Parker's unique blend of football IQ and leadership charisma. This loss has sparked a debate on whether Philadelphia's coaching staff will need to completely rethink their defensive approach or bring in new talent to compensate for the gap. Moreover, the timing of Parker's exit has raised eyebrows. With free agency and drafts still underway, it's unclear if the Eagles are already eyeing potential replacements or if they plan to develop younger players internally. Rumors also circulate about possible trades or signings that could shake up the defense even further. Fans and commentators alike are holding their breath, wondering how this disruption will translate onto the field. Some speculate that the defensive coordinator might simplify schemes to accommodate the absence of such a cerebral figure, potentially affecting the team's aggressive style of play. Others suggest that this could be a catalyst for fresh defensive innovation, with new leaders emerging to redefine the Eagles' identity. Whatever unfolds, one thing is certain: the departure of Christian Parker has set the Philadelphia defense into uncertain territory, fueling endless speculation about the future of one of the NFL's most promising units. The coming weeks will be crucial in revealing how the Eagles manage to adapt, or if this defensive brain drain will have lasting consequences. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.